Good morning. I know it is early, but I want to say thank you for joining us this morning on the Break Thru U podcast. Yes, the Break Thru U podcast. As we know, in order to achieve our goals and to achieve what we need to do, we got to break through ourselves. I think it's probably like 90-10. 90% is mental and 10% is physical. I think once we get the mind in check, the body will follow. And I am super excited to have Charles and Dakota with us this morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. And also our other host, Ashley Gaylor. Ashley and I and Alex, we make up the Break Thru U podcast. And we are super excited that we get to talk to amazing people that are making incredible impacts in the community on a daily basis. And those people are here today, Charles and Dakota. I'm telling you what, not only are they passionate about health and fitness and living a healthy lifestyle and sharing that with others, but they're also they got a big heart for the community and giving back, and really passionate about helping people with healthy lifestyles and just living a healthy life. And so I'm excited. Ashley and I are excited to have both you, Charles, and Dakota on this morning. And with that, I want to say welcome, and we're going to get started on this thing. So I think when in the beginning, I reached out to you on social media, Charles, and for me, like I'm always on social media looking at my friends and looking at, there's three things that I always ask myself. Who are they? What do they do? And how can we network? And being in the fitness industry, I know that right now in the United States, I'm not sure what the statistics are or the numbers, but the United States is, is not very healthy physically. And a lot of times, people want to push, oh, you got to eat healthy, but it's expensive to eat healthy. It's cheaper to eat crap than it is to eat healthy. But I think what you have to do is you have to be purposeful, and you have to have intention on how to discipline yourself to look for those healthy options, to look for those healthy meals. I know Ashley has an incredible story, which I hope he gets into here in a little bit. But the health fitness industry, I think it's just exploding right now. And seeing both you and Dakota and how you live your life and promoting health and wellness, I really want to get into that this morning. And so if you could, Dakota and Charles, if you could tell our audience, just introduce yourselves and what you're currently doing.
Well, we own a supplement company, Ruck Nutrition. We have both been in the fitness world. I've been in it for about 8 years. He's been in it for 12. He played football before that. I kind of fell into the fitness industry. I was literally drugged into the gym and didn't want to go at all. I didn't like the people that went to the gym. And then I fell in love with it after that. So now I like to be that role model for people. That way, when they feel like they don't want to be in the gym, or they're scared to go in the gym, or whatever that case may be, I'm able to help them overcome that and teach them the way to do it so that they can go in there confidently. That's my personal goal. But
so how did you get drugged into the gym?
They literally took my keys and said, you got to come in the gym to get them. And I was on break at work. I was on call. And they walked into the gym with my keys, and I had to go get them. They're like, all right, well, since you're in here, let's work out. And we worked out, and I loved it. Like, I really didn't think I would like working out. I did my at home, what was it called? P90X, when that was
yes.
a thing. Yep.
Oh, I remember P90X.
Yes. So I was doing that at home. I thought that would get me where I needed to be. And once I stepped foot in the gym and actually started working out, I really enjoyed it. And I got my keys back.
So, it's crazy because I know you have that feeling of, oh, I don't want to get up. I don't want to do it. And I experience that a lot of times. I don't want to do it, but then you get up and you get into the gym. Even when you get into the gym, you still kind of have that feeling of, oh, here we go. But once you start working out, maybe like 10, 20 minutes into it, then it's like you feel, and then you feel total opposite when you leave the gym. It's like, wow, like you're wide awake, your adrenaline's going, and you're just ready to tackle the day. But it's like that whole mental state of getting past, getting up and getting there and actually starting to do it is a lot of it.
It is. And I feel like a lot of the times people probably look at us and think, oh, you guys love going to the gym, you love working out, you love eating right. Like, we still have to find discipline and motivation to do those things too. So, and it's at this point, it's become a lifestyle. Like, it's no longer something that we think too long on. It's just something we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with Josh, but you know, I get up every day and make myself do it. But you know, supplements are so important, what you guys are doing. I can't wait to hear about the supplements you guys are doing. A lot of times, you know, I'm not an expert, but I go to the gym every day, 7 days a week. I don't miss unless something's wrong, right? I get up, make myself go do it. And, you know, like he says, I don't want to do it. Most days I'm like, I don't want to be here. But after I get in there and get warm, and I'm like, all right, my day is complete now. But I can't, my day is not complete unless I get my movement in, you know.
Right.
You know, so.
Hey, Ashley, you've lost a lot. I mean, your whole experience on weight loss. Share that for a second.
Well, I started when I was 38. I'm 40. I'm almost 49 now. I was terribly unhealthy. I just wasn't terribly unhealthy my whole life. I got that way, you know, just worked all the time, didn't watch what I ate, drank a lot of sugary drinks, you know, and then I gained a lot of weight. I'm 5'9", so I'm not tall. I got up to 368 pounds, right? So with that, it was high blood pressure. You know, you know, my doctor's like, hey, we need to think about doing something here because, you know, you're still a young man, but you're not going to be around if you keep doing this. So I lost 160 pounds on my own, just getting up, hiking, mainly doing hiking, went to the gym every day. And, you know, you guys can attest to anything. It's not just physical activity. Your nutrition's got to be there too. So, and I just changed it. And like you said, it's a lifestyle. After you get into it, you know, you can't, you know, the biggest thing is that people, and you guys can attest this better as much as I can, it can't be like you're depriving yourself because you're not, you know what I mean? You're not depriving yourself of anything. This is the way that you choose to eat. You know, every once in a while you can have something, or, you know, just depend on what's best for you. But I don't feel that I'm deprived. I feel that, you know, I feel better when I eat right. I feel better when I work out. It's for my health. You know, it makes me feel good. That's the reason why I do it, you know. So, and, you know, and I want longevity. I've got 4 kids, so I want to see some grandbabies, and, you know, I want to be here. So
I think some people have a hard time wrapping their head around, I have to eat this way. Like you were saying,
punishing themselves.
It's almost like a punishment. And that's so with my clients, I preach balance a lot, because I went through a phase where I competed, and when I came off stage, I gained a whole bunch of weight because I couldn't eat while I was in prep. I was terrible. And I gained 50 pounds, 60 pounds, and I had never weighed that much in my life. So that mental struggle for me taught me how to teach balance, and to tell people, like, it is a lifestyle. So it's something you choose, but I still want you to enjoy, like, going to dinner and going to family get-togethers and stuff like that.
Actually, congratulations, first of all.
For sure.
But also, I got a question for you. So we deal with a lot of clients, and, you know, people, a lot of times when they first start anything, they're motivated. You know, it's just like anything in life. You get super motivated at the beginning, you got your adrenaline running, and then, you know, a couple weeks in, you know, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, when you got to get up and go do cardio before work, your motivation goes to shit. So what kept you, just being honest, so what kept you moving? What was that trigger that brought you to the place where you are now? Because I'm sure there's multiple times where 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, that was you didn't want to get up and go. And that's usually where it stops for people. They miss a day, and then they're like, well, it won't hurt to miss another day. Then a day turns into a week, and then next thing you know, they're completely off track.
You know, it started with with me was I went on I love to mount. I'm from East Tennessee and I love to hike, right?
What part?
Yeah, I'm from Knoxville.
I'm from Morristown.
Oh, okay. Well, we're neighbors. Okay. So right up the road. So, you know, being in the area we were at, the mountains are very close, right? So every weekend, like I said, I got 4 kids. We would go to the mountains, and a group of us got together and did this hike one time, right? And my kids, we were with family friends and my kids' friends. Well, we went on this hike, and you know, I'm same age as everybody else, and I couldn't make it up the hill without having to stop and rest every few feet. And my kids were like, Dad, everybody, you know, we want to go. I'm like, it's okay, don't wait on me. And I could just see the look on their face that they were upset that everybody, and I'm talking about people way older than me passing me going up this hill. And I'm like, you know, I'm going to change this. And I could see it in my kid's face, and my daughter, you know, she was like 10 or 11 at the time. And she's like, hey, you know, would you, I want you to make sure that we can do stuff. Can I help you lose weight, Dad? You know, and she was so sincere about it. She wasn't being mean. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And so I went, I started hiking more, and my motivation was my daughter wanting me to be here, and my other kids supporting me. And it all comes from supporting your family, right? And
absolutely.
And so I did it. A year later, we went back and did that same hike, and I went up it backwards.
There
just
you
because,
go.
Not showing off, just because I actually jogged up it backwards a year later. And this was Clingman's Dome, which is a half a mile, which is about 6,200 foot elevation gain over that half a mile. So well, not that much. It's like 57, but it's pretty steep, right? Yeah. I went up it backwards. So I was like, I was hooked in. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get as healthy as I can because I really like this. And
yeah, so you had a why.
That was it.
And I've learned a lot of times when people do have a why, if the why is actually not them, and it's the actual reason why you're doing it for like someone else, like your kids, or you know, someone you care about that you don't want to let down, it's a lot easier to stay motivated, stay on that track. Because then when you do hit that wall, you think about that person. Where if you're doing it for yourself, it's really easy for us to get in our head, get down on ourselves, and just be like, you know what, I can't do it, and just give up. But when you think about somebody else that you have, that you can't let them down, our people tend to push a lot harder.
Yeah, that's what it was. But then it became for myself. But I eased my way into it, right? I just biggest thing I ever did was getting off of Cokes. I didn't realize it, but I was drinking like 2 liters a day, man. And I was like, I didn't even know it. You know, you don't know how unhealthy you are until you really take a good look at yourself, because you don't want to admit it, right? And then now I look back and see pictures. I don't feel when I was that weight that that was ever really me. And so I'm shocked now. And you know that when I was living that those pictures were actually me, because I didn't even see that when I looked in the mirror, right? Because I was in denial. And once I realized it, and I didn't know how bad I felt until now. Like I feel so much better now at 10 years than I did 10 years ago, and I'm 10 years older, but I'm better. I'm in better shape in my life right now, you know, because
I think that's the big thing that you said, was the knowledge. You know, I think a lot, you know, people know how to work out. You know, a lot of people know how to work out. They know how to go to the gym. If anything, they know how to go at least do cardio. Yeah. But when it comes to the nutrition part of it, they're not quite sure. They're not quite sure about, you know, portions. They're not quite sure about weighing food out. You know, what's a good carb, what's a bad carb. Like, they're not sure when it comes to nutrition. They're just like, all they know is that you try to eat healthy, and they don't even really know what that is. So I've learned that the nutrition part is the biggest, even in athletes, like high school athletes. You know, when I go talk to kids in high school, a lot of athletes, they don't know anything about nutrition. You know, when I played football, that was one of the things that, you know, they taught us, you always to lift weights, be strong, be fast, but they never talked to us about, you know, how to eat after we, you know, left the weight room. And so nutrition is every bit, to me, 90% of it.
Yeah,
I agree. If your food's not right, then your body, your machine can't function right. And so that's the biggest thing that I've realized is when it comes to people losing weight or trying to reach their goal, it's the food, it's the imbalance in being able to eat. And I really do believe that, you know, food is like the number one drug in America. I feel like that's the one thing that people are addicted to.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just like Josh was saying, it's so much, you know, there's a fast food restaurant on every corner, gas stations, you know, you walk in there, they've got everything there, but you know, there are healthy options, right? I mean, you can, if you need a snack, you can go in a gas station, you know, and get some string cheese or, you know, something like that, you know, something, you know, that besides that pack of cookies or, you know, burger and fries, you can get a salad with you know, grilled chicken on it now, just whatever, you know, to, you know, because when I was, let me just say, I was a butcher for 30 years prior to being doing insurance. And I'll bring this up because animals, just like us, we are what we eat. Like when I would do beef, and people say, how do you know when you pick a good steak? Well, I can tell that diet and how well that animal ate as soon as I see a piece of beef. It's all about the diet. Same way with us, right? We are what we eat. What we put in our bodies is going to portray the way we look on the outside. And just like when you go to the grocery store and buy beef, it can't be delicious. You know, it's not going to be what it's supposed to be if the animal didn't eat right, and you can tell that. And you know, I can spot that. So that's kind of a correlation there. So it's kind of, it's really interesting. Yeah. Your beef, everything we're putting in our bodies, you know, grass fed, you know, organic, free range, depends on what those guys have been eating. If it's going to be good and good for us.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Hey, Charles. So for you, how did you get into the fitness industry? Like, and then how did Ruck Nutrition begin?
So I played football for like 20 years. So I was always like the kid that even after practice, I was always in the weight room. Like that was my getaway. That's kind of how I escaped from everything. So I just always loved lifting weights. And so I played in high school, played a little bit in college, and then ended up playing for the Nashville Storm. And so once football was over, when you've been playing a sport since you was 5 years old to your 20s, you know, you lose a lot. You know, you go through a lot mentally because you lose that team, you lose that connection with the sport. That's been your identity for so long that you lose that part of it as well. So that's when I met Brandon Curry, and me and him started lifting. And so he kind of mentored me and kind of put me under his wing for a while. And that's when I really got into bodybuilding and learning about the sport. And his show was actually my first show, and won my first show. And then I ended up getting signed by Lone Star Distribution, and they were a supplement third party. So as an athlete for them, we got to work with multiple supplement companies. So that's where I got to learn the background when it comes to supplements. And so I thought that was really cool. I got to meet a lot of the owners. You know, I got to see more of the athlete side of it. So I got to see all the sides of the fitness industry. And so that's where my spark for wanting to do a supplement company eventually one day started, like back in 2013. Now, obviously, it seemed like almost a far-fetched, you know, dream at that moment. But so I traveled for like 2 or 3 years, moved to Atlanta, and then came back to Murfreesboro. I started True Discipline, which was a personal training company. And so I'm still doing fitness modeling at this time. And I had this problem because being an athlete for a supplement company, you got to promote products, regardless if you really like the products or not, it's your job. That's what you're getting paid to do. And so you got to, you still got to pay your bills. So I was having that conflict of where I was supporting other companies that just didn't believe in the products, or maybe didn't even, not just the products, but maybe, the owner I knew personally, I didn't believe, in some of the things that he did or whatever. But it was hard for me to push brands and products that I didn't believe in. So my last contract was with Concrete. I was with Concrete, their supplement company. And I'll be honest with you, they treated me amazing. I was with them for 4 years. I could have stayed there forever, but it was just at a place in my life where I really decided that I wanted to come out with a company that, gave out quality products. And so one of the things for me was, we started out with a pre-workout. I do a lot of, HIIT training and stuff like that from my football background. So a lot of the pre-workouts at that time that were coming out, they were so strong that I would get sick or I would throw up. And so that's where I first started out with, was learning the ingredients to come out with a good solid pre-workout. And so that was in 2017. And so from there, we've grown to Break Nutrition to where now we have 8 products.
I got to get my hands on some of that. I'm always looking for a good
I got you, brother.
I'm with you. Yeah, most of them make you sick. I mean, they always make me sick. I can't use them. So I can't wait to get a hold of that.
Yeah, and that's that's one thing. Even now, since obviously we're further into the game where we're dealing with manufacturing companies and we are dealing with ingredients and stuff like that, it's really easy for a company to cut corners when it comes to ingredients to save $1 or to sell more of it or whatever. So I can see where if you don't really make sure you're doing the right things, that the dollar sign could kind of make you make some bad decisions. And so that's one thing with us. All of our products, the dye-free, we try to make them as clean as possible, try to make them to where anybody can take them. Because we have, we don't work with just, athletes and bodybuilders. We work with people who have never been to the gym. And that's our goal. We want to be able to help, anybody that wants to add value to their healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Charles and Dakota. So being in the health and fitness industry and being an athlete is, it takes a lot of work. It's a process. But also being an entrepreneur and a business owner, the same thing. A lot of times you have athletes who try to be a business owner and it just doesn't work out. Like not everybody, I think you have to have a mindset because like building muscle, building physique, being in the gym, and like a lifestyle, being an entrepreneur is also a lifestyle. Like so many people get burned out. I forgot the percentage. It's very high, but a lot of small businesses that start end up going out of business within like 2 to 3 years. And so tell me what it's like to not just be a fitness, being in the fitness industry, but being an entrepreneur. And what are some of the challenges that you face, some of the successes, because being an entrepreneur in itself is a challenge.
It's extremely hard. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. It actually is really, really hard. Even like right now, I'm getting ready for a show in 3.5 weeks. And so, that's where you gotta have a solid team behind you. Because if you don't, it's really honestly almost impossible. Because even like with us at the Arnold, so like this year was the first year we had a booth at the Arnold, and I was prepping for the Arnold. And so, she killed it. She took care of the booth and making sure everything was on point when it came to getting the Arnold design. We didn't realize how much went into even having a booth at the Arnold. And so like me, as I'm in prep trying to get ready for, one of the largest shows in the world, there's no way I would have been able to focus on both of them. So I think as being an entrepreneur and an athlete, you really got to have a strong circle when it comes to that, because as you know, as an entrepreneur, your day to day is up and down. You have no idea what you're going to get hit with. You know, it can be smooth where you have a great day, or it can be where you're dealing with manufacturing companies all day, or you got 2 customers over here that are complaining about something, or, you know, you have different things where you're going to have to deal with regardless. And as being an athlete, especially in the sport that, you know, I'm in, bodybuilding is 24 hours. That's the difference that I tell people all the time. It's not like, you know, I played football for a long time and boxed for a long time. And those are 2 sports where, you know, after you go to practice, you know, your day's done until you go back to practice the next day. You know, you can go hang out, do whatever you want to. But when it comes to bodybuilding, it's 24 hours. Everything is based around your cardio, your food, you know, what you're eating, your next meal, you know, different things. It's a 24-hour process that you're constantly thinking about. So being in that process is competing and being an athlete, that's 24 hours already, and dealing with being an entrepreneur, which, as you guys know, is not a 9-to-5 job. It's a 24-hour job, because you're constantly dealing with the company. You know, you have to have a team. You know, you trying to do it by yourself, which at one point in time, I was trying to do it by yourself, and you're right, you'll get completely burned out. You know, I love what we do when it comes to, you know, Rut Nutrition and work. And, you know, I love being an athlete, but even things that you love, if you don't give yourself balance and have people help you do it, you will absolutely burn yourself out.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Yeah, absolutely. As an entrepreneur myself, I know you can only, you know, you're only as good as your team around you, right? So you got to have that support, because you try to take everything on yourself. There's just so many moving parts, you know, you know, doing what you guys especially are doing, trying to create the best product that you can, and, you know, making sure everything's what it's supposed to be. Having a great support system is key to that. So how does it work with you guys? Are you guys, have you heard of are you guys going to be a part of the Music City Fit Expo? Have you heard about that? Or are you guys, do you have a booth there lined up?
Yeah, we were actually going to be part of that.
Yeah.
We actually signed a contract with Crunch Fitness. The gym. So right after my show, which is the 17th, we leave the 19th, and we're going till for like a month and a half.
We're going through the end of July. So
yeah. Gotcha. So that's awesome with Crunch. Congratulations. So you guys, they're going to carry your guys' supplements, or what are you going to do with those guys? That's exciting.
So we're going to 22 different locations, and we're going to set up booths, talk to the members and everything about the products. All of the Crunch members get a discount at Rut Nutrition. So it's actually going to be pretty cool, because we get to, you know, go to all the gyms and meet different people, and, you know, help get the brand out there. Yeah. So it's a lot of traveling.
Hey, I love that. That's awesome. Congratulations on that. Crunch is an amazing gym. I hit the one in Hendersonville from time to time. It's not convenient for me, but still, you know, they've got. I like all their equipment. It's a good vibe in there. So.
Yeah,
I like Captain Crunch.
Yeah, Crunch.
Nah, I'm just playing.
I got what you just said. You said you like Captain Crunch. It took me a second.
Hey, let me ask you this, Dakota. How is it being in the fitness industry as a female? Like, where's the industry going? Is it pretty intense, even though just what is it same as like the male fitness part, the competition? Like, what are some of the challenges? And then for you being an entrepreneur, what are those highs and lows?
I would say that the female fitness industry is growing, and we've been talking a lot about women empowerment like for a couple years now. So it's been growing, And females are figuring out that that's what helps them feel good, and looking good makes them confident. And so when you see girls in the gym and they're working on what they want to accomplish and other girls supporting them, it's just building that community of females. And as far as being an entrepreneur in the fitness industry, I wasn't always an entrepreneur. I actually am a X-ray tech, CT tech. I do radiation therapy, used to, and that's what I did even last year. So this is all fairly new to me. As far as like joining in on the company, this kind of like trickled in, and I wanted to keep my space with it just to be sure, like, I didn't want to step on any toes. I didn't really know what I was doing. He knew it all. So I was like, I don't want to act like I'm coming in here and taking over type thing, because I knew better. Like, I know he knows what he's doing, and I can learn from that. So for a long time, he was my mentor. We want to talk about mentorship. Like, he was my mentor, and I would look to him for advice and like what to do from where I was standing. But I had to learn entrepreneurship. I had to learn the grind. I had to learn the hustle in it, because I was always taught, you go to school, you get a good job, you go to work, and then you go home. That's not entrepreneurship at all.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's 24/7. So when I started getting into it, and I was working my normal job, and then afterwards I would help him. I think we were working on writing a book, or I would do the graphics for what you guys see on the social media and stuff like that. Just anything I could do to help, but it was a constant. So I was like, I kept telling myself, one day I'm only gonna have to do Heart Nutrition. So it was that was my why in my head when I was working both those jobs, trying to figure out what entrepreneurship looked like. And then when I finally did step into it, it was a big wake up call. I had so many things to do. I didn't know what to do with them all. And from there, I kind of had to figure out a schedule. I had to go back to what it was like to work 9 to 5 or 12-hour shifts, 7 to 7, and think, okay, I would wake up and do a certain amount of tasks. I could go to the gym, I could do a couple more tasks, and then kind of vary my day through that. And once I figured out that routine, it got a lot better. And then I was able to mix fitness and entrepreneurship together. But it took a while, and I still learn every day.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah, it's a balance. It's very much a balance. I know, Charles, you were talking about how, fitness, it's a 24/7 thing. Like, it's a 24/7 thing. And so is entrepreneurship. It's 24/7. I mean, it's just being on social media, I mean, is a full-time job. Social media, graphic design, advertising, networking. I mean, it's crazy, but yet it's such a challenge, but yet it gives you so much fulfillment, because you get to control your own hours. You get to do you are in control of how much money you make, or you don't make any money at all. And it's that hustle and grind. I find that a lot of people, it really separates the men from the boys when it comes to entrepreneurship, because you got to pivot. Every day it could be a pivot. Like, for Break Thru Nashville, we had a photo shoot lined up for our event July 14th. We had the private jet. We had, we were going to get a Bentley out there. Everything fell through, and the photographer was on her way, the model was on her way, and we were like, oh my god! But you got to pivot, and a lot of times, you have to learn, not just in fitness, but in entrepreneurship, is how to pivot. And Dakota, you're absolutely right. It's like mentorship plays a huge role when it comes to fitness, and when it comes to entrepreneurship, or really to anything. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, I still think that if mentorship plays a huge role. And that's why you got like these organizations that have these big brothers, big sisters,
Right.
because you need help. You need community to get behind you. You need someone to like drag you out of bed, or to like take your keys and say, hey, you're not going to get your keys until you get in the gym and we work out together. And so
And like
with that
someone to
mentor,
look up to.
yeah, it's like mentorship is like so important, that whether it's physical mentorship, or it's spiritual mentorship, or financial mentorship, different areas in your life, you should have and I'm preaching to the choir, you should have a mentor, I think, for every area of your life, because not every mentor knows everything. Maybe some do, but and I think it's very important that we develop ourselves and pour into ourselves so we can then pour out. So when it comes to mentorship, Charles and Dakota, like, how did you find your mentor? And I know, Dakota, you said that Charles was your mentor, and I know y'all mentor each other. But how important is mentorship to you all? And then how important it is mentorship for just everybody?
I think it's huge. For myself, when it comes to being in business and an entrepreneur, I think just from an early age that I can even remember, I just always kind of been a little hustler. Like I just, it was just kind of something that was always in me. Like I was the kid that, at school that would try to sell you candy. Like I was that kid. So I think a lot of it just was just natural. And then, there's certain times in my life where, I've started companies. My first company that actually started, I was 20 years old and I was completely dead broke and I had to pay rent. And it was me and 4 other guys living in a 1-bedroom apartment. So I started a cleaning and remodeling company, out of desperation. And so, but that was my first company. And so that was in everything that you do is a lesson learned. And so, from there, I went and I was the regional manager for Gold's Gym for 7 years. And that's where I really started learning the actual business, like behind the scenes, like, learning taxes, like learning sales, like the foundation of business was when I was, regional manager for Gold's. But, far as having mentors, I've been grateful enough to have mentors through the whole process, like the owners of Gold's, they were learning a lot too, but I felt like, at the same time, they mentored me a lot to how to deal with a lot of things. And so even going into the fitness industry, like, Brandon was a mentor when it came to that side of it. And so I feel like for me, I couldn't say that, having one mentor was like what brought me to this moment. I think it was a bunch of different people at different times and seasons in my life that, God placed there to be a mentor for that season.
Yeah.
How about you, Dakota?
Incredible.
I agree with everything he's saying. I haven't been, as far as like you said, a specific mentor to get me to the point I'm at. I give my mom a whole lot of credit because I turn to my mom for everything. She's my best friend. As far as financials, and she's gonna laugh when she hears this, but having someone in like different groups or categories, like you said, I'd say the one I need the most is probably financial, and that's kind of where he steps in because he brings me back down to reality because I'm a female and we like to spend money. So, and I just have always my mom, if she had money, she spent it. She does well. She does really good. She has money to spend, but I had that mindset and that's what I've carried through. So other than that, like, I don't know, I've had different people in different seasons come in. And like he said, I mean, God places people there for a reason. And whether that be emotionally or physically, I'm not going to say financially because I've never really had someone mentor me on that one. But no, they all they come and go as they need to, I guess.
And that was one of the transitions for her, coming from always having a 9-to-5 job to being an entrepreneur full time, where, you always have a set paycheck coming every 2 weeks. And, as an entrepreneur on a business, sales fluctuate, and so not always being able to just spend like you're just, like, yo, I got another check coming next week, just boom, 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 boom. So, that was like, that was a big thing for her to learn coming from, the 9-to-5 to being an entrepreneur, and learning that.
Yeah, I like the sign behind you. I think it says stop talking and put in the work.
Execution.
Execution, baby.
Yep.
I love that. That's what it's all about. It's in entrepreneurship and in your fitness and your lives, let's just put in the work. Yeah, I love that. Love it. But
hey, Charles and Dakota, another question I like to ask is what and how do you develop yourself? Do you read books? Do you listen to audiobooks? Do you have a favorite podcast? Is there a YouTube channel that you like watching and listening to on your way, from point A to point B? Or is it, spending time in the Word, having devotion, that spiritual time in your life? I really feel like each of us, everyone needs to have that time in their day where they just shut everything down, and they kind of just focus on themselves. How do y'all develop yourselves on a daily basis?
All of the above. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
that's one thing about us. I can both say that we both are big in self-development. She has her own morning routine. I have my own morning routine. We pray together every morning. We do our affirmations. We go over the things that we're grateful for. Far as me, I listen to podcasts
all day.
Like,
what's your favorite?
It really changes, because I'll go from financial podcasts to listening to Grant, or go to like a mindset podcast.
10x.
Yeah. So like, if I really want to get fired up and like want to make some money, I'll listen to Grant. So, or if I'm having a day where like I feel like my mindset's kind of shifted, Rob Dahl, I'll listen to him.
Yeah.
And so it's different people that I listen to, really based on, one, my mood, and also what I'm trying to focus on and what kind of environment I'm trying to be in. So I'm big on podcasts. She does a lot of reading. I do read, some. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. A lot of times when I'm doing all this, I'm also still working. But I think it's very important to, always try to help yourself grow as a person. And I think, thank God, the generation that we live in, where we have so many outlets to be able to do that, where it is podcasts, or it is reading books, or, just different, YouTube, different things, different outlets to where we can learn. We watched a really cool documentary last night, and it was called Heal. And it was talking about the natural healing, and how your mindset plays a part of healing your body. And it was like one of the coolest documentaries I've ever watched. And she just found it on YouTube. And it was absolutely amazing. So I always think it's good to try to grow as a person. And we have all the tools to be able to do that.
We do, but I don't think, for me personally, I didn't realize how important self-development was until I dove into self-development and started reading books that talked about mentorship and talked about like just different ways to think and the way your mind works. I had no idea how important that was and how much it was going to change the way I viewed life and the way I viewed other people. So some of my favorite books right now, I'm reading Slight Edge. And it talks a lot about the things that are easy to do to get ahead and to get on that uphill curve. And they're just as easy to not do them as well. So it's the little daily habits that we do every day that either add up to success or they're going to add up to failure. You're going one way or the other. Another one I read because I was trying to figure out what makes my mind tick, because for years it didn't matter who I was dating or what class I was in for school or what I was dealing with at work. I wanted to know what made other people tick. I wanted to know why you were treating someone the way that you were treating them. And was it like past trauma, or was it something you were dealing with at home, or like just different ways? So I would dove into the mind and how the mind works and learned a whole lot about that. But with that came, okay, I've learned so much about why everyone else thinks that way. What about me? Like, what do I know what makes me tick and what makes me think and do the things that I do? Because I wasn't happy. There's a time in my life where I was not happy with the way I was treating people. I wasn't happy with the thoughts that were in my head. I was like, I know there's more out there than what I'm thinking right now. So I dove into self-development books. And that's when I really, really learned a whole lot about the mind and how to think positive and how to like use words of affirmation and how to like dive into the word and all kinds of cool things. So that's where I try to stay on that path of self-development now, but I do it while I do cardio. So I like not two things at once. I'll read and do cardio every morning.
Get those endorphins going, and it helps you with those affirmations and those.
Right? Yeah, I can do this.
Yeah. I have my best clarity moments when I'm doing cardio and I'm doing, my simple stairs or simple treadmill on like 13 at 3.2, where I'm really hustling, but I start getting ideas and I have to make notes in my phone because I will forget it as soon as I get off there
Do you
about
listen to music?
either how we can do something with our nonprofit, or, a problem I was working on for a client of mine. I'm like, oh, I got it now. I better write that down, so.
Do you listen to some sort of music or a podcast?
I listen to, listen to a podcast called the 8%, and it's a guy named Cody, and he's an insurance guy like me, but he's like one of the top. But it's not really about insurance. It's just he's talking about how customer service, how we can help people. And he has one that goes, he has hundreds of them. That's usually the one I'm listening to. Is the 8% Nation is guys like what we do as being entrepreneurs. Like 92% of insurance agents don't make it within the first year, right? So I've already, I'm past that, but it's just it's the same mindset, just never quitting, never give. It's just the same way with fitness, right?
Right.
That's cool.
There's no end in sight. You can't think about that. Once you reach your goal weight, it don't mean, hey, I can do whatever I want, because trust me, you got to keep going.
Another level.
Yeah, you got to keep going. And, you guys know this as much. It's not just much about weight. Like that scale is my worst enemy. I get on it because
I hate when people get on the scale.
And I do it every day, even though I know I'm not supposed to. But when I get on the scale, if I don't like what I see, I have a bad day because
all day
off of it. I got to get it out of my head,
I hate it. Like, that's the one thing that I wish that people would understand. Because like the thing about it is, when you're trying to lose weight, the goal is for you to look good.
Yeah.
The goal is for you to look how you want to look. And so we get caught up with the number. And when you're weighing yourself, especially if you're weighing yourself every day, like there's so many things that change, like water, like just different things that can change your body weight from, 1 to 5 pounds. And like 5 pounds can send you into complete crisis. And it's really not that big of a deal. You'll probably level out by the next day. But like you said, it ruined your day. And it's really like, it's just one of those things, like your look still looks the same, but mentally you think you're a whale because of the scale said 5 pounds, and it's probably 5 pounds of like water. Yeah. And so I hate when people get on the scale all the time, because it really does more damage mentally than it does anything.
Yeah, it does. It's because me personally, I can tell you, I can put on a shirt and I'm like, oh, this shirt fits good today. I must have cut some water out, I must have hydrated good yesterday, whatever I did, agree with me. And I get on the scale and I may have gained a pound. And then all of a sudden I sat down, man, this shirt's tight,
Yep.
Because it's right here.
It's all a mindset. It's all in the mind.
Terrible.
Well, ahead, Charles and Dakota, we just partnered with a Marvel group. They have characters like Flash and Batman, and like these guys are no joke, top notch. And so we're partnering them with the schools that we continue to support through the summer and this coming school year. But I want to network them with you. They're just some incredible people. And I really appreciate, and I know we got to wrap up here, but I really appreciate like y'all's hearts, your passion, your desire, your commitment, your just zeal to not just be all about the business, not just being, all about just fitness and health, and all of that is great and all of that is good, but really caring and being passionate and compassionate about people and helping them. And I think that in the sales industry, for me, I say that when relationships are high, sales pressure is low, and when sales pressure is high, relationships are low. Everything stems from building those relationships. And when people people don't care how much you know. They really want to care how much you make them feel. And you
Absolutely.
know, I really appreciate that about you. And I know that, we were at Blackman High School and celebrating teachers and loving on them. And, it's just, those are the things that really matter in conjunction with everything else, is just your passion to help people get to where they want to be. And, someone said, how can you ever be good at anything if you're always starting and stopping? And that's so true. And to have you and Charles and Dakota that are there for people, not to just be a drill sergeant, but I'm sure you all are. Um, People talk to you about their issues. I mean, you're a like marriage counselor, and people just talk to you about everything because it's just that relationship. And so I really appreciate that about y'all. Y'all are like so genuine, and you're there for people, and you can tell a lot from just being around both of you, your passion and desire just to help people, just to help them live a longer life, because your industry is a very important industry, because you actually help add years on to people's lives. Like that's what you do. And it's like you can't get any better than that. Is like, hey, what do? I help add years onto people's lives. Wow, how do you do that? By healthy living. And so thank y'all so much for everything you do.
Appreciate
I
that.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
How do folks get a hold of you?
Well, we have
So,
multiple.
yeah, go ahead.
We have multiple different ways.
Yeah.
Instagram, we're at Ruck Nutrition.
Yeah.
I would say I am Charles Rucker. My Instagram is CodaLynn _. And then we also have a community phone number they can text.
Okay.
I can get that for you. And this text will go straight to our phones.
Is that Google number?
Yeah.
It's a community.
It's just like a text.
That's cool.
But it's so it's still us, and it's still Right Nutrition, but
And we'll send you like, discount codes. We'll send you like where we're going to be next for a demo and stuff like that. It's like literally a community. So you kind of know exactly what we're doing, what we got coming up.
Sweet.
And you
That is
honestly
awesome.
find out
cool.
lot of things beforehand we ever post. So we got something in the works that we're going to launch pretty soon, so that we're super excited about. So you will probably know on there before you will on social media.
Yeah. All right. You ready for that number?
Yeah, go ahead.
It is 615-813-6618.
All right, so I'm gonna get some of that. I'm gonna try some. I want to get a hold of some of your supplements.
Absolutely. So
yeah,
rudnutrition.com. You can go there. We have all of our products. We have 2 pre-workouts. Okay. We have a high stem pre-workout that, if you need that push to get going, it's great. Gives you tons of energy.
Yeah.
We also have a pre-workout that is, more of blood flow, more pump, but it also gives you super good focus. It has 7 different strands of mushrooms in it. So it really helps you to zone in and really good blood flow. And so we also have collagen. Collagen is good for your skin, hair, nails, joints. A lot of women have been taking collagen for years. I've seen a lot of men start taking it because they realize it's really good for their joints. I take it every day. I love it. We have our Delta 8 gummies. They do have a small dose of THC, but they're really good for recovery. But they're also really great for sleeping. That's one reason we came out with it, for people who have a hard time sleeping. And then we have our EEAs. So if you don't know about EEAs, you probably know about BCAs. So, your body needs 20 amino acids for it to recover and build muscle. So your body produces 11 of the 20. The 9 you got to get through supplementation, or you got to get through food. So BCAs is 3 of the 9, and EEAs is the full 9 panel. So where your recovery time will go from, 2 to 3 days with BCAs, the recovery time is 24 hours with EEAs. And then we also have our number one selling product, which is our Total Cleanse. It's a full body detox. It also has a probiotic in it. It also helps you to keep this is our second top selling product. It will help you lose weight, speeds up the metabolism, holds those cravings to the side, and it's a pretty great product.
All right. Well, I can't wait. I'm gonna get a hold of some of that stuff.
Yes, sir.
I like you had me blood flow on the second one with the mushrooms. Yeah. I like
Pretty right 2.0.
Do you get a little tingle going?
You don't get the tingle. I didn't put the beta alanine in there.
Okay, good.
He did beg me to.
Sometimes
put it in there.
Sometimes that tingle can be a little off-putting, you know. You're like, oh, what's happening to me?
I like some people like it, some people don't. I personally I don't like it. So like literally when we were coming out with it, that was one of the things. She was like, you need to put it in there. I'm like, I'm not putting it in there. And so
it's not in there. I didn't win.
So,
yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to try some, and I'll get a hold of that and definitely let you know how it works. But
absolutely.
Thank you.
Hey, we can't wait to continue to network with you guys and keep up with what you're doing. I'm definitely going to be in touch. I want to talk with you guys. I want to pick your brains about what you're doing and see how we can network together as well.
I would love that.
We appreciate you guys hopping on this morning.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
we appreciate you guys being here. This is one of my favorite subjects is nutrition style. I mean, I just love it. It's once folks get the bug that they're like, man, how did I ever go without getting this done, you know? But
right.
Just that point across is you know, and at the end of the day, you know it as well as anybody, just have to make up their mind that they're going to do it and get it done, right? So
no, it's definitely a mindset.
Yeah, you can't want it, just like with what I do, you can't want it, they want it for themselves. So
so you're right.
And definitely let us know any networking things you guys have going or anything like that. We'd love to help you guys out as well.
For sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We think that you know, networking events, like when you guys got time to go around, whatever, to probably be good for your guys' business as well, getting your
absolutely. We'll love to business. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that, get connected on some of those stuff.
Yeah, let's can I text you? You have my number? Okay, yeah. I'll text you on this number, you have mine, and let's set up something. And I've got a referral network of folks that I will, anytime I see something I think is good for their business, I'll send to them. And then go to the networking events, because I do at least 2 to 3 networking events every week. Usually I'm out there, you know, because it's how you do business, right? You got to meet people, those relationships, and you never know. And a lot of the circles I run in, a lot of other entrepreneurs, people that are interested in people who are busy, they need to be able to find time to take care of themselves, and you guys come in. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Charles and Dakota, for joining us this morning. You have made such an impact on us, and for those that are watching and listening on the podcast, definitely reach out, get with Dakota and Charles, and plug in with them. And from all of us here at the Break Thru U podcast, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Now we're going to go out and kill the day, slay it, and make it our day. We're going to slay it. Sounds good. Well, y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank
you too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.